Hello! We're excited to show you our native speech capabilities. Welcome back to the English journey. Today, we're asking a very deep and personal question. Are you living your dreams? I'm Anna.
And I'm Abel. Most of us have a secret goal hidden in our hearts, but we are too busy with daily life to chase it. Today, we will use English to help you find that fire again.
That is right, Abel. And before we begin, we want to say something important. This episode is not just about English. It's about your life. It's about the person you want to become. But of course, we will speak slowly and clearly so that you can learn English at the same time. Two powerful things in one conversation.
Exactly. So let us start with a very big question. Are you ready for it? Here it is. If money and time were not problems, what would you be doing right now? Think about that for a moment. If you did not have to worry about bills, rent, or your daily schedule, what would your life look like today?
This question is so important because most people never ask it. We are always too busy thinking about tomorrow's meeting or this week's problems or what other people expect from us. But when you stop and really ask yourself this question, something amazing happens inside your mind.
I remember the first time someone asked me that question. I was sitting in a job that paid well, but made me feel empty inside. You know that feeling when you were doing something every day, but your heart is just not in it? And then a friend asked me, Abel, if you had all the freedom in the world, what would you do? And honestly, I didn't even know how to answer. I had forgotten what I wanted.
And that's the saddest part, Abel. Many people forget their own dreams. Life gets busy, responsibilities grow, and slowly that little voice inside you that used to say, I want to travel the world, or I want to write a book, or I want to speak English fluently, becomes quieter and quieter, until one day you can barely hear it anymore.
But here's the good news. That voice never completely disappears. It's always there. Sometimes it speaks to you at night when the world is quiet. Sometimes it speaks when you see someone else doing the thing you always wanted to do. That feeling you get when you watch someone living your dream, that feeling is not jealousy. That is recognition. That is your soul saying, yes, that's what I want too.
I love that, Abel. Let's talk now about the difference between a wish and a dream, because many people confuse these two things. A wish is something you want but have no plan to get. A dream is different. A dream has energy behind it. A dream makes you move.
Can you give us an example, Anna?
Of course. Imagine someone who says, I wish I could speak English. They think about it sometimes. Maybe they feel sad that they cannot communicate with people from other countries, but they do nothing about it. That's a wish. Now, imagine another person who says, I want to speak English because I want to get a better job, travel more freely, and connect with people around the world. And I'm going to practice 15 minutes every day to make it happen. That's a dream with a why and a how.
That's such a clear way to explain it. The why is your reason, it's the fuel, and the how is your plan, it's the road. Without both of these things, a dream stays a wish forever.
Exactly. And let's look at the word potential. Potential means the ability or possibility to become something great in the future. We all have potential. Every single person listening to this right now has potential. But potential without action is like a seed that never gets planted. It has everything it needs to become a beautiful tree. But if it stays in the bag, nothing will ever grow.
I really like that image, a seed in a bag. That's a perfect way to think about unused potential. And I think many of us are walking around right now with seeds in our bags, dreams we've never started, talents we've never shared, languages we've never tried to speak. So let's talk about why. Why do we keep those seeds in the bag? Why do we not plant them? And the answer almost always comes down to one word: fear.
Fear, yes. Fear is probably the #1 reason people don't follow their dreams. And I'm not talking about the fear of lions or fire. I'm talking about invisible fears, mental fears, the kind you can't see but can definitely feel.
There are three main fears that stop most people. The first one is the fear of failure. The second is the fear of judgment. And the third is the fear of change. Let's talk about each one slowly and carefully.
The fear of failure is probably the most common. We think, what if I try and I don't succeed? What if I start learning English and I still can't speak well after 6 months? What if I start a business and it doesn't work? What if I try to change careers and I end up worse than before? These thoughts feel very real and very scary.
But here's something I want you to think about. Every successful person you admire has failed, many times. The person who speaks English fluently today once made hundreds of grammar mistakes. The business owner you respect today probably had a business that failed before this one. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of the path to success.
I failed so many times before I got here. I tried to learn Spanish and stopped after 2 weeks. I started a blog that nobody read. I had ideas for projects that never became anything. But each time I failed, I learned something. And slowly, those small lessons built into something bigger.
That's resilience, and resilience is one of the beautiful words in the English language. Resilience means the ability to keep going even when things are hard. Even when you fall down, you get back up. Even when the road is difficult, you keep walking. Resilient people are not people who never fail. They're people who fail and try again anyway.
The second fear we mentioned is the fear of judgment. This one is very powerful. We worry about what other people will think if we try something new and it doesn't work. We think people will laugh at me. My family will think I'm crazy. My friends will say, "Who does he think he is?" And this fear is very understandable because human beings are social creatures. We care what others think. It's completely natural. But the truth is, the people who are judging you are also afraid. They're watching you do something brave that they wish they could do. Their judgment often comes from their own fear, not from a real problem with your dream.
And honestly, most people are so busy worrying about their own lives that they're not thinking about yours as much as you think. We imagine this big audience watching our every move, but the reality is people are mostly focused on themselves.
Let's talk about the third fear now, the fear of change. This one is very interesting because change is actually necessary for growth, but change is also uncomfortable. Change means leaving something familiar, and our brains are designed to prefer familiar things because familiar things feel safe.
So when we think about changing our career or moving to a new city or starting to learn a language, our brain sends a warning signal. Danger, unknown territory, stay where you are. And we listen to that signal, even when staying where we are is actually making us unhappy.
This brings us to a very important topic that we want to discuss today. We call it the safety trap. And this is so important for anyone who feels stuck in their life right now.
The safety trap is when you stay in a situation that is comfortable but not fulfilling. Fulfillment means a deep feeling of happiness that comes from doing something meaningful. When you are fulfilled, you feel that your life has purpose. But many people choose safety over fulfillment. They stay in the job they hate because it pays the bills. They stay in the same routine because it is familiar. They never try the new thing because failing seems more dangerous than standing still.
But here's the truth that most people do not see clearly. Staying still is also a risk. It's just a slower, quieter risk. If you spend 10 or 20 years in a situation that does not make you happy, you will look back one day and feel something very painful. And that feeling has a name.
Regret.
Yes, regret. Regret is one of the most painful human emotions. It's the feeling you get when you think about the things you could have done but did not do, the chances you did not take, the dreams you did not chase. And studies show that at the end of their lives, people do not regret the things they did. They regret the things they did not do.
That idea really changed my thinking when I first heard it. We are so afraid of making a mistake by trying something new, but the real mistake might be never trying at all. The risk of regret is bigger than the risk of failure.
And let's connect this to our word purpose. Purpose means the reason why you exist, the thing you were born to do. Some people discover their purpose early in life, others discover it much later, but everyone has one. And when you're living in line with your purpose, life feels different. It feels lighter. Even the hard days feel meaningful.
That's so true. When I'm doing something that feels connected to my purpose, even the difficulties feel worth it. But when I was doing work that had nothing to do with who I really am, even the easy days felt heavy.
Now, let's talk about something very practical, because we don't want you to just feel inspired. We want you to take action. And this is where the rule of 1% comes in.
The rule of 1% is one of my favorite ideas, and it's very simple. Instead of trying to change your whole life in one day, you just try to get 1% better every single day. Just a tiny bit, just a small step forward.
Think about it this way. If you improve by 1% every day for 1 year, you will be 37 times better than you are today. 37 times. That's an incredible result from such tiny daily effort.
And the beautiful thing about 1% is that it removes the excuse of not having enough time. You don't need hours to improve by 1%. You need minutes. You can listen to an English podcast for 15 minutes during lunch. You can write 3 new vocabulary words in a notebook before bed. You can practice 1 pronunciation every morning while you brush your teeth.
These tiny actions seem so small that they almost feel like they don't matter, but they do matter enormously, because every tiny step creates a habit, and habits, over time, create a completely different life.
Let's use learning English as the perfect example of the rule of 1%. Because honestly, learning English is a perfect metaphor for chasing any big dream.
It is. When you first start learning English, everything feels impossible. The grammar is confusing, the pronunciation is strange. You don't understand what people are saying. It feels like climbing a very tall mountain with no equipment.
I remember feeling that way. I would hear native English speakers talking and think, I'll never sound like that. Never. It seemed impossible, like a door that was permanently locked.
But then, slowly, something starts to happen. You learn one new word today. You understand one sentence tomorrow. Next week, you follow a short video without subtitles. Next month, you have your first simple conversation. And 6 months later, you look back and you can't believe how far you've come.
In that journey, that slow, patient, 1% at a time journey is exactly what chasing a big dream looks like. It's not a sudden explosion, it's a slow fire that grows bigger and warmer every single day.
And this is why we believe so strongly that learning English is not just about language. It's a key that can open doors to a completely different world. When you speak English, you can communicate with people from almost any country on earth. You can access information that is only available in English. You can apply for jobs that require international communication. You can travel more freely and connect more deeply with new cultures.
English is the language of global opportunity, and that's not just a nice saying, it's a real practical truth. Think about how many online courses are taught in English. Think about how many international job postings require English. Think about how many books, podcasts, videos, and research papers are only available in English. By learning this language, you are literally expanding your world. And expanding your world is exactly what chasing a dream is all about. It is about refusing to be limited by where you were born or what language you grew up speaking or what people around you think is possible. It is about saying, my life can be bigger than this, and I am going to grow to fill that bigger life.
That word, aspiration, is a beautiful one. Aspiration means a strong desire to achieve something great. When you have an aspiration, you are looking up, you're aiming high. And people who have aspirations tend to live more energetically and more purposefully than people who have given up on wanting more.
Let us talk now about something called vocation. Vocation is an interesting word. It originally comes from a Latin word that means a calling, like your life is calling you towards something specific. For some people, their vocation is teaching. For others, it is creating art or music. For others, it is building businesses or exploring the natural world. Your vocation is the intersection of what you love, what you are good at, and what the world needs.
I think a lot of people know deep inside what their vocation is, but they're afraid to admit it, even to themselves, because admitting it means feeling the pressure to actually pursue it, and pursuing it means facing all those fears we talked about earlier.
So they stay comfortable, they stay safe, they choose the predictable path, and year after year, that secret dream gets a little quieter, but it never fully disappears.
So, what is the answer? How do we break free from this safety trap? How do we go from just wishing to actually dreaming and doing?
It starts with a decision, a real decision, not a maybe, not a someday, a real, honest decision that says, I am worth more than this half-life I'm living, and I am going to do something about it today, even if that something is very small.
And then you plant your first seed. You take your first 1% step. Maybe you write down your dream for the first time. Maybe you tell one trusted person about your goal. Maybe you download an English learning app and promise yourself to use it for 10 minutes every single day. These are tiny things, but they are real things, and real things create real results.
Let us talk about the pain of discipline versus the pain of regret. This is a very powerful comparison. Discipline means doing the hard work consistently, even when you don't feel like it. And discipline is painful sometimes. Waking up early to study is painful. Saying no to comfortable habits is painful. Pushing yourself to practice when you are tired is painful.
But that pain is productive. That pain is building something. That pain is creating the life you want. It's the pain of growing.
Now compare that to the pain of regret, the pain you feel at the end of your life when you realize you never tried, that you let fear make all your decisions for you, that you played it safe and ended up with a life that looked okay from the outside, but felt empty on the inside. That pain is much, much harder to bear.
Because the pain of discipline passes. You practice English for a few months and then you can speak. The discomfort was temporary, but the result lasts forever.
But the pain of regret does not pass. It stays with you. It grows heavier over time.
So when you are feeling lazy about studying, when you are feeling scared about starting that new chapter of your life, remember this. The effort you make today is protection against the regret you will feel tomorrow if you do not try.
And let us be very honest here, not every dream comes true exactly as you imagined it. Life is not a movie. Sometimes you work hard and things still do not go the way you planned. Sometimes the path changes directions. Sometimes what you thought you wanted turns out to be different from what you truly need.
And that is okay. That is life. The goal is not to achieve one specific result. The goal is to become the kind of person who does not live in fear, the kind of person who tries, the kind of person who grows, the kind of person who can look back at their life and say, I gave it everything I had. I did not play small. I did not let fear win.
That is such a powerful way to think about success. It's not just about the destination, it's about who you become on the journey.
Exactly. And think about this. Every person you admire, every person whose life seems exciting and meaningful from the outside, was once exactly where you are right now. They had the same doubts. They had the same fears. They also had days when they wanted to give up. The only difference is they kept going.
They kept going. That's the whole secret, is it not? There's no magic trick, there's no shortcut, there's just the decision to keep going. One small step at a time, even when it's hard, even when you're scared, even when it takes longer than you expected.
And you are not alone on this journey. That's something we want you to feel deeply. Right now, as you are listening to this podcast, there are millions of people around the world who are also afraid, also dreaming, also taking small, brave steps forward. You are part of a community of people who refuse to give up on themselves.
And every time you press play on a lesson like this one, every time you write a new word in your notebook, every time you try to speak English even when you feel embarrassed, you're making a statement. You're saying to the world, and more importantly, to yourself, I believe in my potential. I believe my life can grow. I am not finished yet.
Let us spend a moment now on the idea that it is never too late. This is so important for anyone who is listening and thinking, I'm too old to learn English now, or I missed my chance, or my best years are behind me. We want to speak directly to that feeling.
Age is not the enemy of dreams. Comfort is. Fear is. Waiting for the perfect moment is. Because the perfect moment is not coming. There will always be a reason to wait. There will always be a problem, a responsibility, a challenge that makes you say, maybe next month, maybe next year, maybe when the kids are older, maybe when I have more money.
But the only moment you actually have is right now. This moment, this breath, this day. And if you take just one small step today, you'll be one step closer to the life you truly want. It is not too late. It is never too late.
I want to share something that I read once and never forgot. It said, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. And I think that's the perfect way to think about dreams and language learning and any big goal in life.
Yes, maybe you wish you had started learning English 10 years ago, but you didn't, and that's okay. You can't change the past, but you can absolutely change what you do today. And what you do today will determine where you are in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years from now.
So let's end with a very direct, very personal message to everyone listening. To the person who has a dream but is afraid to start, to the person who wants to speak English but thinks they're too old or too busy or not smart enough, to the person who is living safely but not happily.
You are enough. You have always been enough. Your dreams are valid. Your desire to grow is natural and beautiful. The fact that you are here, listening to this, improving your English, exploring these big ideas, that's proof that the fire inside you is still burning.
Do not let fear make your decisions for you. Do not let comfort become your cage. Do not trade the life you want for the life you have simply because changing feels too hard. It will always feel hard at the beginning, but hard is not impossible.
Take one small step today, just one. Write down your dream, send that message, download that app, open that book, record yourself speaking English for 60 seconds. Whatever your one step is, take it today, not tomorrow, today.
And keep going. Through the confusion, through the mistakes, through the slow days when you feel like nothing is working, keep going. Because on the other side of all that effort, there's a version of you that you'll be very proud of.
We believe in you, truly, from the bottom of our hearts. This podcast is called The English Journey because learning a language and building your dream life are both journeys. They are not events that happen once. They're ongoing adventures that get richer and more beautiful the further you travel.
And every single episode we create is a step on that journey with you. We're walking this road together. You are not alone.
So the question we leave you with today is the same question we opened with, but now we want you to hear it differently. Now we want you to feel it in your heart and answer it honestly. If money and time were not problems, what would you be doing right now? And more importantly, what is one thing you can do today, right now, this very moment, to move just 1% closer to that answer?
Think about it. Write it down. Say it out loud in English if you can. And then do it. Because your dream is real. Your potential is real. Your journey starts right here and right now.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. It has been a genuine pleasure and an honor to share these ideas with you. If this episode touched something in your heart, please share it with someone who needs to hear it today.
And we have a question for you in the comments below. If you knew you could not fail, what's the first thing you would do today? Tell us in English. We read every single comment and we celebrate every brave attempt to express yourself in this new language.
Practice your English, protect your dreams, and never stop growing. We'll see you in the next episode of The English Journey.
Until then, take care of yourself, believe in your potential, and remember, the best chapter of your life has not been written yet. You are holding the pen. Start writing. Goodbye for now, and keep going.
Goodbye, everyone. Keep going.